Today we're going to talk about the Mighty Byte Pitbull clamp, and what we're going to do is we're going to create a simple fixture in SolidWorks just to show the installation of the Pitbull clamp. We're going to look at part numbers 26050, which is the knife edge Pitbull clamp, and we're going to look at part number 26060, which is the blunt edge Pitbull clamp. What we're looking at here is our catalog, and it just shows a lot of details as far as the clamp installation, holding force, max torque value, and the total throw of the clamp. And what we're going to look at is the pocket that's made when using the pocket design method for installing the Pitbull clamp. One of the important features we're going to look at is the C dimension, the width of the pocket, the A dimension, which is from the face of the part to the center of the threaded hole for the socket head cap screw used to mount the Pitbull clamp. In this particular case, it'll be a 1/4 thread. And then the B dimension, which is just the recessed amount of the pocket. And we're going to head into SolidWorks. And I've already gone ahead and created just a mock assembly. This here will be just our simple part, and we're going to use a locating rail as a backing, which is part number 33160, and then we'll also have just a 1/4 inch diameter locating pin just to locate our part. And what we'll use is the knife edge Pitbull clamp, which is this one here, and then the blunt edge Pitbull clamp. And I'm going to go ahead and made up a few items. We'll just made up our locating rail first and locate it in a pre-made slot that we have. The slot measures 0.482 wide. The actual locating rail has a measurement of 0.480, and I didn't add any threaded holes, but you would add threaded holes per the locating rail that you'd be using. And we're going to recess this in about 30 thousandths. And the concept in recessing the locating rail is just so that as the clamps push on the part and then against the rail, the load is transferred from the shank of the bolt to the actual fixture itself in this corner. And we'll bring up our made options. Then we'll just mate this flush on the side. Then we'll take our simple mock part with just a piece of 3/4 inch square stock. Then we'll give this a distance made of 0.5. And we'll accept that. And then we'll also just made up our locating pin. And then we'll just save this assembly. And what we're going to look at next is just the mounting pocket that we'll be using for the Pitbull clamps. And we'll go back to the catalog, and again we'll be using these two part numbers here. So we know that the C dimension, which is the pocket width, in this case is 3/4 inch, and the center of the threaded hole from the face of the part is the A dimension, which is 0.300. We'll go back into SolidWorks, and I'm just going to move these parts out of the way, and we'll look straight on our fixture plate, and we'll just start a sketch on the face of this part, and we'll make a hole. We'll just place a couple of holes, and we'll just bring them in, thinking maybe 1.25 inches will be a sufficient amount. Then from the face of the part, 0.3, 0.3. Then we'll give this a diameter dimension of 0.201, where it'll be a tapped 1/4 thread, and we'll make those equal. Then we'll go to our features, and we'll just cut extrude, and we'll just go through all in this case. You can go to a certain amount if you choose, but in this case we don't need to. Alright, so those are our threaded hole locations. Next we're going to create our pocket. We'll insert a sketch on that face. And what we'll do is we'll just get a rectangle. We'll place the rectangle down. Then we'll bring up a center line. And we'll go from the center of our threaded hole to the center of the slot, and we'll make that vertical. And apparently I made it horizontal. There we go. And then going back to our catalog, the clamp width was 0.75. And then we'll make the pocket width. We'll go with, let's see, 3/4 inch wide clamp with an 1/8 inch radius in the corners. We'll make that 1.125. Alright. And then we'll just make a rectangle on our other hole. And we'll give this a 0.75 dimension. Then we'll add this center mark, and we'll make it in line with that. And then we'll go with our width at 1.125. And the reason why I'm going 1.125, as you machine your pocket, you'll have some radiuses in the corner, and we just don't want the clamp to hit that corner. Then we'll extrude down, which is the B dimension, which is 0.28 in this case. So there's our pockets. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some fillets in the corner. And we'll go with a 1/8 radius, simulating using a 1/4 inch end mill to create the pockets. Alright, what we'll do is we'll get out of the sketch. And we're back into our assembly out of the edit mode. And we'll just hit save here. So what we did there was we added the threaded holes and created the pockets for the mounting of the Pitbull clamps. Next I'll actually made up the Pitbull clamps. I'll just make the screw and the threaded hole concentric. And then I'll make these faces parallel with each other. And then we'll just made up the other clamp, which is the knife edge clamp. And we'll make that concentric. And then we'll make these faces parallel with one another. And we'll accept that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this base fixture plate transparent. And then we'll look straight on the side. And I'm just going to slide these clamps down in to the bottom of that pocket. Which is right about there. And we'll just come to the other side and we'll look straight on there also. You can make these up, but just for pictorial purposes I'm just going to bring them into the corners. And I'll remove the transparency from this base piece. And what we have is the Pitbull clamps, are 1/4 Pitbull clamps installed just in a simple fixture with a pocket. There are a few different ways you can make the pockets if you don't want the large gap here. And it's really up to the user. This is the method that I found works good for me. It's pretty simple to do. And just real quick, I'm going to go back to the catalog so we can see the throw of the clamp. I'll just save this. And for this particular 1/4 Pitbull clamp, the total throw will be 24 thousandths, and that'll be for both the knife edge and the blunt edge Pitbull clamps. And that'll conclude this simple fixture building with the Pitbull clamps.